Good evening, YouTube. How's everyone doing?
Hey.
So we are very, very fortunate. We have a very special guest with us tonight. We have Richard from Jacksons Reef.
Everyone.
Goodness sake.
There might be a few little audio clips tonight.
Oh, boy.
Going to be on.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I was maybe expecting you to look a little bit different, because when I saw your name come up, I mean, the first thing that came to mind was this guy.
Yeah, it's a little before my time, but yeah. And he spells it differently than me too. So.
I did. I messaged Alyssa and said, is he going to see the funny side of this? Yeah. So let's see who we have with us tonight. Ron called in earlier and said hello,
Hey,
but
Ron.
that was at 5 p.m. I don't think he's here
okay.
now. So good evening, Ron, or good whatever time of day it is when you watch this back. Good afternoon, Alyssa.
Hey.
She was also here 2 hours early, waiting for us to go live.
Yeah.
Good evening, Scott.
Hey.
Good evening, John.
John Wright. Good to see you.
Hey, John.
Who else do we have? Good evening, Puneet.
Hello.
Now, Puneet said to me, say to Richard, where is it? I've written it down.
Oh,
Say
boy.
to Richard, what's the dog doing?
There's a story behind that, but
Yeah, I'm guessing there's something behind it, because it was quite a random comment. But
yeah.
he said, you've got to ask him, what's the dog doing?
Sounds like another gym scenario.
It's actually a soundboard comment on Discord. It's like this group chat kind of thing that we're in. So one of the soundboards says, "What's the dog doing?" So he's always hitting that all the time. So yeah.
Right. I thought it was going to be far worse than that. So
No, it's not that bad.
who else do we have with us tonight? We have Jamie as well. Good evening,
Hey,
Jamie. We have Rama. Good evening, Rama. Anthony as well. Good
Hey,
evening.
Anthony.
Julie and Paul. Good evening.
Hello, guys.
We've got Lee with us as well. Good evening, Lee. Is this a Jason or a Lee? I can't remember now.
Lee.
It's a Lee.
Hello, Lee.
Good
Sorry,
evening,
I'm
Lee.
dim your lights.
Who else? We've got Jason. This one's a Jason, North Wales Reefer.
Hello.
Who else? Have we got any more? Nad's Glass. Good
Oh, it's a new
evening.
He's local to me. That's
Good afternoon then.
Yeah, good to see you.
hey, Dan.
Harren's Chris is with us as well.
Yep.
Spiller's Reef is with us too.
Hey.
Jamie is with us. Good evening,
Hello,
Jamie.
Good to see you.
We have Subzy 88 Subaru, maybe. Maybe a
Hello.
Subaru fan as well, or don't know. Yeah. Good
Good
evening.
lad. Cheers. Good lad. Good lad.
The UK's fastest donut eater is with us as well. Good
Yep.
evening, Reese.
Hey, Reese.
Peter Parry is with us as well. Good evening. The offshore reefer is with us. I got it right that time. Good evening, Neil.
Hi, Neil.
The UK's tallest reefer is with us as well. Good evening, Dan.
Dan Giant.
That is everybody. Excellent. So, Harry, what have you been up to this week?
Oh, me first. I have done nothing with the tank. I have been wedding filming. I haven't been outside. I've been hyper focused on a screen editing weddings. I did scrape my glass 5 minutes before the stream, but as you can see, I didn't bother with the sides. I'm reversed either side, so it doesn't matter. That is literally all I've done to that tank is clean the glass this week.
Wow.
Nothing else. Oh, no, I adjusted my alkalinity dose to
Okay.
be 1 mil less. That was
Is
creeping
that a
up
hobby,
ever so
Harry, or
slightly.
is that one of your many businesses?
Weddings is probably my main gig, really, is weddings. Wedding videography primarily, a little bit photography, but not really. But yeah.
Explains why you're very good at it.
Thanks, mate.
Yes. Yeah, I was, when I was been editing videos, I'm like, what would Harry do? And then I thought, no, I just can't even try that. I'll just do what I can.
You can. Anyone can.
So that's it. Nothing else.
No, sorry. I've got nothing to give.
Well, we haven't seen Code in quite a while. What have you been up to?
Yes.
Busy working, unfortunately. Yeah, work. Reefing wise, probably not that much, really. Actually, I've been fighting the temperatures, I guess, as everybody has in the UK with the heat waves. I did go well above 28 at one stage, which is a little bit concerning. But I haven't seen any ill effects from that, so I'll take that. We're still quite hot at the moment. I think we've got some 30s coming up again at the end of the week, but yeah, nothing like that horrendous period where we had sort of nearly a week of like 38, 39 peak. It was pretty nasty. So yeah, I've been managing that like everybody else in the hobby in the UK and probably Europe, which has been quite challenging because yeah, not a lot of people have air conditioning and chillers really. So I think that's probably going to be a changing thing with the times, and certainly something that I've been looking into a lot more seriously, not just for us in the house, but obviously, you know, we've got a responsibility for the animals as well. So I will be getting an air conditioning unit, certainly that we can move around the house that I could use in the sort of in the lounge during the day and then in our bedroom during the night. And the kids will just have to suffer the heat, unfortunately. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's on the list when they do come back in, because you can't get them for London money at the moment. They're all just sold out across the UK with this ongoing hot summer. So hopefully towards the winter months, I'll be able to get something. One of the things I have been struggling with is Aptasia. Since I sort of started my tank up, certainly my main tank, I've had the odd one that I've just zapped, the Aptasia X, and I kind of just kept on top of it that way. If I saw sort of one or two every sort of month or two, that'd be it. But I don't know if it's the temperatures and other things. I've just really noticed the last sort of 2-3 months, I'm just every week I'm seeing a few more. So I might have to end up going down the road of getting some Burgils or something, and just because I don't have a RAS or anything, I feel quite comfortable probably putting them in there and just letting them multiply. But playing with that,
I think I know someone that might have a stripey.
Ooh. There you go.
Have you got a 12-foot tank?
Isn't it? So
if you look carefully, you'll see it swimming backwards and forwards past behind Harry.
I don't know where she is. Good old Melinda.
So yeah, I don't know if I've got enough to keep things like that fed. It'd just be obviously a stripey will take flake and stuff as well. But one of the things I'm thinking about is I might need to move off of that because I'm sort of. I think I used a bottle of the smaller Aptasia X in a month, which gets quite expensive. So it's not a cost-efficient way of managing it. So we'll see how that goes on. But I must say, actually, in the last week, I haven't seen one, but I'm keeping an eye out. But yeah, they just come out of nowhere, don't they? And in the crevices and stuff, by the time you see them, they're flipping an inch across. It's like, I have to get in there and get that one. And
have a look at Ron's paste on Discord. Ron's Juice, I think it's
Ron's Juice.
Yeah, it might be a cheaper way of doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
You can make calcluster paste too. I mean, that's what we always did. I mean,
that's what it is.
Cheap. Calcium hydroxide, in a thick paste in a syringe. If you use a ton of it, you just got to watch. You could watch your pH. Just make sure it doesn't shoot up very high.
Yeah. Where I find it challenging though is like you can probably see on some of my rockscape there when they're sticking out over corals and things. I've then got to put things over the corals to protect the corals. The stuff doesn't drop down on the coral, and it's all that. It just it becomes one of those kind of chores, doesn't it? That you end up hate doing, and every time you see one, you're just like, oh, here we go again. I'm gonna have to go get the stuff out, set it all up, and it's just So if I can maybe come up with a more natural solution with me getting so many more of them, then I'm probably gonna go down that road. But outside of that, Not much else really. We've obviously got the Aquatic Emporium Reefkeeper Moss End meet coming up next month, so I'm looking forward to that. A couple of guys wanted some frags, so I'll cut those off. But out of that, not a lot else really. The only other thing I've done is I've got a Reef Mat 500, and since I've started the second tank up a few months ago off the same sump, I was changing a roll every sort of 3 weeks, which wasn't financially viable. I looked at going up to a 1200, but my sump, the way that my sump's designed, I've kind of got it. It's a separate sump on its own, and I use it as a kind of a bench seat as well. So I don't have a lot of room on the top of that to be able to put a bigger reef mat. And measuring up, I just don't think it's going to fit. So what I've ended up doing is I've just taken the top of the reef mat off, and now I'm just putting floss in there.
Okay.
And I'm just changing the floss out every sort of 3 or 4 days, and that's been working absolutely fine and is way cheaper. So I'll see how that goes on in the long term. But from a reefing point of view, that's probably about it, really.
Have you? I don't know if you might have the same headroom restriction, but I've heard with the reef mats, if you lift them up, the floss lasts a lot longer.
Yeah, so I've got mine as high as it can be. It's literally like 3 millimeters away from the top of the cabinet when I close it. So yeah, I've got it as I basically stilted it just on some plastic pipe to get it as high as I can do. So yeah, unfortunately, I think the flow rate that I've got off of my core pump is basically the limit of that reef mat, and I think it's just I just for what I've got load on the system and stuff. It's just I can use it. It's a very expensive way of
Have you thought about running it from like a separate pump, just on its own?
That's a good shout.
Just have a sort of standard return and then just run a certain amount through the yeah, you could do. I guess that reduces the flow, but I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've been running the floss now for probably a couple of months, and I haven't really seen much of a change in my nutrients. I mean,
nice.
So yeah, the sump section where the return is gets slightly messier. So I am having to kind of, well, I've only had to do it once so far, but I am having to kind of clean out the bottom of that sump section a little bit more because I just get a bit more of a detritus build up. But outside of that, it seems to be working okay. Plus, I'm trying gonnies again, so I've got a couple of gonnies in there which are doing really well, and they like slightly dirtier water. So
yes,
a little bit of a bonus for that. But yeah, the only thing I'm doing differently to what I haven't done before is I'm feeding them 2-3 times a week, and they seem to be very happy so far. So we'll see how it goes.
Excellent. Good.
I'll stop talking now.
Oh, what have I been doing? I made a list, so I'm just going to quickly check it. I'm going to start off a Trident test because my Trident's just gone mental again, just recently. Just stopped. It suddenly said your alkalinity is 6.7. I looked at it, I don't think it is. Let me do an alkalinity check. No, it really isn't. So I did a calibration and it calibrated. And then immediately afterwards, I had said, do a test. Then when I looked at, because it takes like an hour or so, when I looked at the result, it was back down at 6.7 again.
Wow.
How do you store your reagents? And are the other two reading normally?
So I calibrate, and then as soon as I do the next test, they're different, but not by much. Not like the alkalinity. So all of the reagent bottles that are in use are in there, and the ones that aren't in use are in that cabinet at the end there.
Okay, so they're in.
What are you using, Steve? Are you using Hannah?
Hannah eggs to confirm, yeah.
Okay.
Well, Hannah for alkalinity, and Salifert, that's it, for magnesium and calcium.
Yeah, same here. We don't use Hannah calcium and magnesium. We only use it for alkalinity here and nitrate.
Yeah, the Hannah calcium and magnesium is so much work. It's much easier to use.
I get crazy readings too compared to the ICPs. It's never like it's all over the place. So I stopped doing that.
Yeah. So I did a factory reset on the Trident, a reboot on the Trident, and then a calibration earlier. And we'll see when this test finishes whether it's worked or not. And this happens every few months. It just goes completely mental. and I spend a couple of days fiddling with it, checking all the pipes, flushing everything, priming everything, and then it decides to start working again one day. So
Let me know if it doesn't, and I'll send you some reagents just to check.
okay, thank you. Yeah, if anyone does want any ABC reagents, you can go to the little friendly UK store run by Harry here, marine-spec.co.uk. Get that little plug in for you, Harry.
Appreciate it.
And he also
Yeah.
does weddings.
And he does, but not on the web, not on that website.
Reagents and weddings.
I lost my trackie.
No.
I don't know what happened to it. I think it got a bit, or I think the toadstool started to grow and lean and got a bit too close to it, and it didn't like it. So I out of the three I've got, it's the least sexy. So if that's any consolation, yeah, but didn't really want to lose it. And also, rather randomly, I had a frog spawn, Harry's favourite coral. Also, it didn't brown jelly, but it completely pulled into the body and then just wouldn't come back out and just disappeared. Little bits of it floated off.
That's an
But I've
odd
got
one to
hammers and torches that are really happy.
Butterfly, possibly.
Could be. I haven't seen it doing anything though. I mean, he normally just sticks to eating all the snails.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can do that, can't they? If the flesh gets nicked or damaged at the bottom, like you say, more often than not, you'll get the brown jelly. But sometimes, like you say, I think they'll just fold. But
yeah.
Sometimes, like you said, you had a low alkalinity, you had a heat wave, you might have had high CO2. Your pH could have been plummeting, which could also, cause weird things to happen.
Yeah. Well, I've got an apex, and my pH just is pretty rock solid. It varies between 8.12 and 8.4, 8.5.
Oh, nice.
Every day.
Nice.
So, yeah. The other thing I've done is I picked up a DD function wave 10,000 wave maker, and I'm going to move my second ocean sea wave from the sump to this side, because I've got one over, can't reach that way, over that side. You just see it above the tank there. So I'm going to put another one in over the back of that. So that's that. What else did I? Oh, Harry, your video came out. Harry did a beautiful video of my reef tank. He did sprinkled his Harry magic all over it, and did an amazing job editing it to make it look like I kind of half know what I'm doing. And create this video, and it was beautiful.
Not at all.
But interestingly,
you are very talented, Harry, at video editing, and you are very, very talented.
I noticed when you were filming some of my corals, I saw everyone spots this one coral. Everyone loves it. It is a Goldmeister chalice. And I looked at the video and I thought, that's grown a lot. I can't remember when you came round, but it wasn't that long ago. But that's the size of it now. In your video, it was about somewhere between a half and 2/3 that size.
It is
and then
so nice. It's really beautiful coral.
Mm.
And I was while I was taking some pictures, I got the blue tip table that I got at AOC, and then over the back is that red table one from Ron. Wow. It's going mental.
It grows really quick, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's really nice.
And another one of Ron's is the fruit salad, and that's looking lovely as well.
Nice.
And then that was right near the end of the day, and then my lights went out. I was sitting here, I was editing something. I can't remember what I was doing now. Sitting here, and all the lights had gone out in the tank. And I thought, oh, I don't know what made me think of it. I thought I'll just get my torch on my phone and go around and have a little look what I can see in the tank. And it's amazing how all your fish find the craziest little spaces to hide in overnight.
Yeah.
Because I looked in the tank like, shit, where are all my fish? And then while I was poking round, I spotted this little fella coming out of the middle rock there.
Mm.
Is it a worm?
Long one.
Yeah, it's a bristle worm of some just poking out, having a little wander around. But yeah, I don't think I've done anything else reefing wise. Done a water change. That's about it. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's about it for me. So let me remove some of them so I've got a bit more space down the bottom again. So Richard,
Yes.
what have you been up to recently? And then we'll do a deep dive into origins
Recently. So a lot of things, Steve. A lot of things.
Okay.
But since Coach brought up the heat wave, that reminds me of something, because we've had a heat wave over here too, and all my aquariums, they're in the basement here, and the CO2 gets up pretty high at times. So when it's like, I don't know what the Celsius is like, when it's like 105 Fahrenheit here, 100, we close the windows, the air conditioner's going on, and the CO2 really builds up.
Mm.
What does that do to my tanks? My alkalinity will climb, my pH will drop. My low pH will, normally it's like a low of 8, high of like 8.3 to 8.4 range. That will change. It'll go down to 7.7, 7.8 is a low. Maybe if I'm lucky, get up to 8.2. So what I did, because I knew we'd have like a 2-week heat wave, I incorporated some CO2 scrubbers on. I have two separate systems. I put CO2 scrubbers on the both of them. Okay, with the it's like soda lime pellets is the media. It's like, I think the same thing as kalkwasser, but pelletized form. Okay, and that scrubs the CO2 out of the water, and I hook it up so it's recirculating, so it lasts longer, and that worked wonderfully. It made my low pH back to like 8.05. I was hitting close to 8.4 for the peak. Okay, and my alkalinity started to climb again. So that was I mean, the only problem with that whole thing is it gets expensive. That media is not cheap, right? So like I save that as a tool in the bag for exactly like a hot moment like this, when it's a long stretch and I know the CO2 is going to build up. I really didn't bother with that in the past, but then I made the correlation that every time my pH drops low, I have like probably 250 different acros here. Every time my pH gets down to like 7.8, 7.7, my system usually doesn't run like that. I'll wake up in the morning, I'll come down, I'll see a few white coral heads every time. So I want to avoid that low. I don't care if it only gets to 8.2, 8.25, but that low is damaging for me. Meanwhile, I see guys run systems that, routinely hit those numbers and they're fine. I guess they're adjusted to it. So I don't know. But besides that, just typical day-to-day stuff, decalcifying pumps, cleaning skimmers, dosing whatever I dose, whatever foods I dose. And I just got back my ICPs on Monday, okay, for 2 systems. So there's like a correction of elements that I'll dose, okay. So I'm doing that. The ICPs came back pretty good, but like the turbidity number, that clarity number was high on both systems. So I'm gonna like take a little step to reduce that. And I'm trying to do that without activated carbon this time. And the reason why, because I had these systems on Modern Reef, and they don't recommend carbon. They say it's damaging or something. I don't know. I was on Reef Moonshine and I used CAC carbon, and I saw no negative issues with it. So like, I'm trying it their way. If I can't get it down, I'm going back to some CAC carbon. We'll see what happens. But that's it for this week, really. I mean, there's probably a million little chores I'm forgetting, but those were the main focuses. 2 weeks ago was a much different focus, but we'll get into that. So,
yeah, okay.
Activating
Right.
carbon is an interesting one, isn't it? Because I used to swear blind by that, and I stopped using it for a while. and I didn't see any issues. And it was the oh God, I always forget his name. Apologies. The British guy that's on Polo Reef. I forget his,
British
I forget his
Polo
name.
Reef.
What was it? The carbon source you're talking about, or
No, just activated carbon. God, who's the British guy that's one of the main guys on Polo Reef? He does all the stuff in the background, and he's on
Polo
the
Reef?
video.
British guy. Oh well, there's Susi, but he's not British. Polo. Oh, Yorkshire Reefer. That guy.
No, I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, he came.
I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure he's British. I'm sure that's where he's originally from because I've seen a lot of videos of his, and he said that he'd come over from the UK, and he's got an English accent. But he went into the fact that he basically said, "Don't run it. You don't need it." He said that you can. There are times where you might want to use it if you've got contamination or something else going on. And kind of
Yeah.
ever since that video, he went into a little bit of detail and stuff and kind of how he runs his tank, and his tank's amazing, and obviously knows what he's doing if he's working at Polo Reef.
Carbon
Yeah.
Carbon got a bad name over here when you ever see rocks carbon ROX, it's like very fine. It looks like rat poison. It's like pelletized, very small. It's super duper effective. It like totally strips your water. So that carbon was really popular here for a while, and guys that really didn't need a large amount of carbon were stripping their systems down. Okay, they were not only removing trace elements, but like all the organics in their water levels were gone. They were burning their corals. Their polyps would suck in the corals. The acros would get kind of skinny looking. So in that aspect, it was a bad thing. But then you look at like catalytic carbon, like Reef Moonshine recommends, right? That carbon's a little bit more gentle on the elements, and if you use the recommended amount, you don't get that effect. So the argument's like on both sides from all the hobbyists over here, and we always argue back and forth. It's like a lighting argument or something. There's just like no end to it. But I'm on the fence because I've had success both ways. So I don't know.
So
It's one of those things that used to be like universally agreed upon as a good thing.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's just not the case. But I think as a tool, I think I like to use it as, if I know there's some metals in there, polyfilter, some carbon, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't tend to run it 24/7 now unless I put a bag in and forget about it, and then it's 3 weeks later and I go, oh shit.
I think it's
I used to run it
when you first put fresh in, and the dust seems to have a bit of a reaction from quite a lot of tangs. I think yellow tangs are quite famous for it, where it all it looks like they get damaged to their skin and things. So I think that initial, when you put it in fresh and the powder, definitely has some kind of impact on the water quality. But
yeah,
definitely makes your water look nice. But
You know-
I'm trying to replace that with ozone now.
on your
the water changes though.
you guys do regular ICPs, like where they give you like the DOC number, kind of like some might call it turbidity, like on Oceamo they call it SAC 254 or something like that. It's like a clarity number.
Yeah, I think we're just starting to get that. So we haven't had it for long. I think maybe 6 months, 8 months. We've started to see the tests that we use offer.
Which test are you guys using over there?
So I always use Reef's Elements because it's
It's the only. Yeah.
It's in the UK, and I can send a test, and within, if I post it on a next day delivery, within 48 hours I've got my ICP results.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Same as that.
Wow. I wait
everybody
like a
uses
week
it for that.
minimum. Wow.
Yeah.
And is that OES resolution or MS resolution? What is that?
So they've got both OES and MS.
Nice.
You can choose which one you want.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, and so I always use that, but we do have access to Triton,
ATI.
ATI.
Yeah, there's other good ones. It's just
ATI doesn't give the
none are quick.
organic level like that, though. I love ATI. Like, they've been really consistent. I wish they would do that. That DOC number I find really useful. I pay attention to it because, you know what? When you're lazy and maybe you're not keeping up on your order changes, you see a couple acros getting dark, you kind of overlook it. When I see that number climb, it definitely coincides with like some negative effects in the tank. So I like to look at that when I send the test out. Just keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, you can do like the white bucket test, can't you? But
I fail it every time. A white bucket test. I mean,
how
I'm never
accurate is
perfect.
that? Yeah.
I mean, unless the bucket was the size of a white cup, maybe I'll pass that one. But like a 5-gallon pail, it's going to be yellow.
So Scott's saying he's 15 minutes down the road from the Reef's Elements lab. so he can just take his there and drop it off.
You guys are
Wow.
so lucky.
Yeah, that is lucky. That's cool.
I mean, I'm minimum a week, and that's like fast, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
which
so
is,
for
I've
me,
become accustomed, yeah.
I have the like. You want to do an ICP when everything's good, so you've got a benchmark.
Mhm.
But then every time after that, normally when you're running an ICP, it's because something's not quite right. And if it takes a week or more to get the result, then what do you do in that? And what's changed in that week as well? You know,
Yeah, of course. Good point.
there's a lot of things that could change in a week. And normally, if it takes more than a week, I've done a warp change in that time. So
I think with ICPs though, you're more looking at the longer term, aren't you? It's
Well, exactly. Yeah.
I don't think it's something you necessarily have to react to within that quick time frame. What you look, because I mean, depending on how often you do them, I do them every 3 months, so I'm kind of looking for trends and changes rather than
Exactly.
actually there's a problem there. But I know obviously they are useful if you've got a problem, you try and identify it. But I think for most people, it's not I have to react now. It's usually something that you're kind of monitoring over time.
Yeah, that's exactly like my scenario. Like I'll do monthly ICPs, I'll do my scheduled water changes. So more or less, it's all the same, slight variations. But if I see an anomaly, then I know something's off, right? And then I do a little detective work, little Columbo detective work, figuring out like you know, where it came from. Is it my RO? Is it an element like something I dosed or food or whatever? You know, so it becomes like a static set of numbers that you could lean on. You know.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
Yeah, Acro Killer, good evening or afternoon. Not quite sure where you're from.
Acro Killer,
Yeah.
that's my buddy over in the States here.
Okay. I guess it's not
I
one
thought
I've seen
so.
before. So
He doesn't kill many acros anymore. He got pretty good now. So
okay, that's
Good
good.
day.
Yeah. Liam's saying, "Is my Stratton twisted?" I think because the camera's at an angle onto the tank, it looks worse than it is. But I also think because I was pulling around the cables to try and get them to pair up again, so I spent that's another thing I've did recently. I spent like 3 hours trying to get those two units to talk to each other again. It's not happening. So they're just both set up independently to be the same, which is a bit of a pain when I want to make a change, but you don't change your lights very often. So yeah, so I did pull the cable, so it probably is twisted as well. But
You don't want a twisted strap on, Steve.
no, definitely not. So we did get a few more people pop in. We've already said hi to Acro Killer. We have Terry in the
Hey,
UK.
Terry.
Good evening, Terry. And Yarrick as well. Good
Yarrick,
evening.
Yarrick.
We've got Reef Tail Therapy. Great name.
That's a
Like
good
that.
name. I like that.
hey, Tommy, that's a buddy of mine also.
Good
Hello.
afternoon. Ty, good evening, Ty.
Hey, Ty. How's it going?
We've just said hi to Liam. We have
Liam.
Steve as well. We
Hey.
have Gazar. Good evening, Gaz.
Huzzah. Hello, mate.
And James is with us as well. Good
James.
evening, James.
You'll have to put Mark on his thing on the what do you call them? Register.
Yes.
We've
Yeah.
got a few people in our group that are on the register already, so yeah. Don't need any more.
Oh dear. Yeah, the less said about that, the better. So I'm going to play the video in a minute, but we did notice that you got to meet our friend, the Minge Train. I thought I'd share this video because I'm guessing he can't wait to see that again.
It was cool. It was great meeting Blaine. Finally, you know, he's a good guy.
So if I hide that and then share my screen, I'm hoping I can play this and then add stage. There we go. So while we're talking, we can see some of your systems there. So you chatting with Blaine. So the problem is I use that screen for my notes. I need to now move my notes over here. So this is an innovative marine tank. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a 200
Lovely.
gallon illuminated marine. That's still when I had halides on it when he filmed. That's a Giesman Spectra halide fixture, which I no longer have, but it's nice to have that documented at least.
Yeah. So that's 758 liters for us metric people. Yeah. Which, I mean, that's not a small tank.
That's packed.
So that
Huge.
basement you've got is huge.
It's 1,250 square feet. So whatever that comes out to, it's, there's room for more tanks down here, but I've capped it at what I have right now. It gets too expensive.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that you've got some milker in there. Deserves a place, as our Ron says.
It's crazy. If I show you this tank right now, it is completely different. I literally dismantled this tank after this video.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll have to do that in a minute. We'll get you to wander over to it, but we'll keep the coral porn playing in the background while we
please.
chat, because I mean that is a really full tank as well.
Would you like me to tell you about this tank as it's playing, or?
Yes, yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, okay. So, anyway, the innovative marine tank. So in that video, there's a Giesman Spectra, and it's three 250 watt halides that I overdriven. So they're running like 330 watts. It was 20K radium bulbs. Where the T5s are in that light, I slid in AI blades. They actually fit inside that fixture like they're made for it. So with no modification, I slid those in. So I was able to get nice LED color pop with the halides, and the look was like beautiful. I mean, I thought that was the best looking lighting I've ever laid my eyes on. However, with full LED, I had a much easier time growing corals colorfully. And it's like, I have many other tanks that, you don't see in this video yet, but like, it's like once a coral became LED adapted, unless it was a very easy, fast growing coral, I had an extremely hard time getting them to grow under metal halide. And this was like a trend that was going on for 2 years for me. I was pulling out whatever hair I have left. And, and then I would take the coral, I would move it to an LED tank, and it would take off. So, like, people, like some of the old school guys, like, why'd you get rid of your halides? They're the best. I'm like, maybe they were the best, not to me anymore. To me, it's just a headache. So I have LEDs on this tank right now. It's growing like a weed. I have all my tenuous and all stuff in there, and it's a different iteration. Like, this looks great here. These corals, did well under the light, but the ones that weren't doing well under this light were in different tanks. Now they're in this tank, which will, I'll show you the update in a little while. But my copper band. I have 5 copper bands here trained. They eat out of my hand. I feed them scallop. That's my solution to aptasia. My tanks are absolutely loaded with aptasia, but you won't see any in the displays. They're in the plumbing. They're in the sump because of the copper bands.
Yeah, so we really struggle here to keep them alive. So I've had one that came in eating fine, one that came in not eating, but I managed to get it eating completely fine. But they just randomly expire, after 6 to 8 months. Just one day they're dead. We're kind of thinking something to do with collection, maybe.
Steve, I got to the point where like people are asking me to condition their copper bands for them and sell them. Like anyway, what I do here is that the most important thing is finding like a eating copper band. If you see it eating mysis and it's actually swallowing it, it's usually healthy enough to train. I think the biggest thing is you have to put them in like their own quarantine tank, not necessarily for medication. You just have to train them to be super aggressive eaters. So I'll use like live mussel in a shell, live clam. I'll get them on frozen scallop. Once they start eating frozen scallop, I mean, they really gorge themselves. And then at that, I mean, by the time they're eating the scallop, they'll eat anything in the water column. But once I hand feed them, then I know if I have to fatten them up at any time, I could really force feed them. So I'll hand feed them 2 or 3 times a week, keeps them fat. Then they pick off whatever they can in the water column, and that keeps them healthy long term. Because I think these fish starve to death. I mean, essentially they have like little chopsticks they're trying to catch food with. They can't stuff enough down in their mouth unless they're undisturbed when they're eating. Or they could suck down bigger chunks.
What's Rufus after, Harry?
He said, toilet blues.
Harry's dog's got buttons he can press to talk. So
Sorry, I would just go and let him out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
with copper bands and a lot of the kind of butterfly fish, they're in the wild, in the reefs, they're just constantly all day, aren't they? I mean, they've got that snout for a reason, right? On the type of food they're trying to get to in the reef, and they're just constantly pecking all the time, and it's very difficult for us to mimic that, isn't it, in a home environment?
Yeah, and they'll have a taste for some LPS too. You got to watch with like Blastos and Acans. You know, they'll randomly go in there and tear them up. So if you're LPS heavy, it's with caution.
Yeah. No, that does look really stunning.
Thank you.
Really nice.
So this tank is it's like it's about 2 years and 2 months old in this video. But I never let the colonies get big. Like once they get to like bigger than your hand, I kind of pull them out and chop them up, because I had this like thing when my colonies would get big, right? And then no matter what I did at the time here, I was dosing a lot of Calcwaster, 13 ml of Calcwaster a day, and then 200 ml of Ulfa Reef. So there wasn't a calcium reactor. That was my dosing scheme. So what happened was, at the time, I didn't realize it, I would get a lot of Calcwaster precipitation. And I just thought it was a normal amount of detritus, but it wasn't. So whenever the colonies got large, there's my son feeding the copper bands by hand. When the colonies got large, I would get all this like precipitation, organic coated detritus in the colonies, and then they would start to turn black in the center and lose polyps and start to die from the inside out. And this was happening to anything that got really big, and I couldn't fit any more power heads, any more flow in the tank. So I just stopped letting things get really big. Like once they got to like palm size, I would cut them up. Oh,
there you go. Advert about sunglasses. It's a good job my browsing history's clean and the adverts weren't for something else. Oh, I need to click on that screen. There we go.
yes, I guess he's speaking about the lighting there.
Yeah.
See the blades, they slide in there really like, it's almost like they're made for it. It fits in absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Interestingly, if we, Harry's just coming back. If I spotlight him like that, he'll freak out when he comes back.
Am I big? I can't hear you yet.
But you can see the blades on Harry's tank as well. So he's done a similar thing.
What's with the blades? Blades and what else?
There
Harry.
are 4 LED 90s, the older Red Sea lights, and then there's a
nice.
blade grow at
Those?
the back and a glow at the bottom.
Nice. I'm a big blade fan, man. I really love the way the diode, like especially the white diode, like it doesn't wash the colors out. You know, like the colors still pop even when you're white heavy with the grows.
So they saved me a lot of money because I was really, like everyone else, tempted with the Strattons and the spectrum that you get from them. Obviously, the Reef LEDs are quite a blue spectrum. I actually really like them. I think they can grow corals really well. They've got good wattage, and the shimmer's really nice, but they are very difficult to get that sort of nicer spectrum from. So yeah, I was looking at the Strattons, and then decided I would try those. I got those second hand, so yeah, saved myself a fortune, and actually really happy with the results.
What's the length of the ones that you have, Harry?
I can't remember. It's a 5-foot tank, and they are probably about
57-inch or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. They're the same ones. I actually have a tank here with just 4 blades on it. It's the only lighting, and it's a frag tank, kind of grow out tank with a rack system, so it's like all even par. And I run that one like 350 par, like an even blanket. It's almost like a T5 tank. It's totally even coverage, you know, but way more color pop and stuff. But it grows corals really well.
I like the way you've utilised the depth on that tank, Richard. You haven't it's very easy with those. I know that's a slightly shallower tank as well, but it's quite easy to kind of just build it up from the front view and make it, you know, very, very pretty for the front, but you've kind of left a lot of room at the back as well for flow and kind of
thank you. Exactly, because I'm bare bottom. I wanted the flow like around the whole thing. So that tank is actually started with Australian rock. That's only 7 Australian rocks in there, live rock. I was in a big rush when I set it up. I didn't want to wait and cycle dry rock and stuff. So I got the live stuff. I cured it for a few months, put the rock in there. I had acros in that tank like within the first few days. You know, it like I aquascaped that tank in 5 minutes. They just kind of like they're like this branching kind of clustery rock that you kind of stick together, and they just no epoxy, no glue, so it was easy. Filtration's real simple here. So I have like very coarse filtration. I use like 300 micron socks just to capture large particulates. Bubble King 200 skimmer, which I run kind of on the wet side. I do run a little GFO, as you can see there. Keep the phosphate a little lower because I like my phosphate around like 0.1, 0.12, like in this system, because I mean, I could go higher on the phosphate, but then to keep the peak colors, like I need more light. But the problem is because this is a display, only the top corals are getting blasted. The ones lower, well, they'll lose color. So, you know, 0.1 phosphate seems to be that sweet spot where like everything keeps the nice color.
Yeah.
In the display. You know, if it was a shallow grow out tank, it's totally different. Here's the Avast calc stir that I used to pass 13,000 ml of calc through here. I no longer do any of this. It's crazy. Like this thing is a complete change. I maintain it completely different. I think superior to what I was doing here.
Even that digi looked stunning.
Mm.
A real kind of bread and butter, as Dave would call it, coral. But yeah, it looked stunning. Got Matt and well, I'm assuming Matt and Roxanne. Good evening.
Hey guys,
And
how's it going?
who else did we have? We had someone else as well. Abs Reef. Good evening,
Hello.
Abs Reef.
Good to see you.
Don't know your name, Abs Reef. Put your name in the chat and we'll try and remember it. I've got to scroll back up to find that comment now so I can take off the screen. There we go. Oh, it's just Roxanne. Well, good evening, Roxanne.
Good evening, Roxanne.
Martin. Right, that's one for us to remember, Harry.
Martin. Zip, zip. I definitely won't. Sorry in advance, Martin. We'll try our best.
So what tangs have you got in there?
Oh, sorry, go on, Steve.
I'm sorry, Steve. I couldn't hear you.
What tangs have you got in that tank?
Oh, there's a yellow, there's a purple, a hippo, a sailfin, a convict, a tomini, and a big naso.
Wow. Any aggression issues with each other in there?
No.
That's good.
There's no aggression. Yeah, I mean, if there was, I would trap them out. Oh, and the orange shoulder. I forgot. I just see him in the video now. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
They're all good as long as I don't put like a powder blue or anything like, or a clown tang, like something in those. Those are the ones that really like. I always fail with. They always create some kind of problem in the tank.
Yeah. So you've got an Aqua Whiz.
Yeah. I actually have I have them on both systems. I picked one up used and I got one at a discount. So I said, hey, let me try it out. And that was a game changer. Steve, I've always been kind of like an old school reefer. And like, I guess at this point, I'm kind of like with all the new methods. So I don't know, but that right there, you know, given the 24 alkalinity tests per day, it graphs it like a pH chart. So like you could see when your alkalinity is getting consumed, you know, when it's not. You could track trends if you're lazy testing. It's just a really, really helpful device with acros, I think. You know, and it's for the most part it's been pretty accurate. I mean, the only time it'll drift off is if I have like wild CO2 changes in the room. Because the way it works is like when you calibrate it, it's based off the CO2 concentrations at that current level. Like once you have a big change, it goes off. But the thing is, if you do nothing and the CO2 level in the room returns, it eventually goes back into calibration.
Huh.
So you ignore the anomaly readings and you're fine.
Excellent. So we've just got to everyone say hi to Roxanne's mum. Hi,
Hello.
Roxanne's mum. Yeah, there's a lot of people in the UK getting a little interested in the Aqua Whiz now.
Yeah.
They weren't particularly popular when they had the orange plastic on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't an attractive look for them, but the blue is good. I really like the idea, but it seems like a lot of money for testing one parameter.
Agreed. It is a lot of money, and its construction leaves a lot to be desired, right? Like, but it works. If you want alkalinity testing with no reagent 24 times a day, it works. There's other brands on the market now too. There's a Brazilian one, I think, called Aquarino. I mean, that's going to be their competition soon. So I'm going to look into that. It's definitely, from what I saw, it looks like much better made. So, when I get the opportunity, I'm going to pick one of those up and make a comparison.
Yeah. Is it quite noisy? I've heard that they do like a bubble, 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 bubble kind of noise when they're testing.
Yeah, it does. There's air stones that aerate the water samples in those two brown tubes in the middle. But like, if you have like it in a quiet room, it's going to be annoying. I mean, I have mine in my basement, which is nothing but reef tank stuff. So, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Have you had a Trident before, Richard?
Oh, Apex. No, I don't have Apex anything. Like, last time I had Apex was probably like 2016 or 17 was the last time. And
Wow.
when I took a 4-year break from the hobby from like 2018 to 2022. My kids were small at the time. My business was really busy. So I took a break. And when I came back in, I actually went hydros on the controllers. Okay.
Okay.
I don't really do anything crazy with like I don't do any of the auto testing. That Aqua was actually my first auto tester. So,
Wow. I love that, like, you had Top Shelf in, and a lot of people would have just gone, right, I need to make everything look absolutely perfect. But you've kind of just embraced the reefer chaos.
Thanks, Steve. It's like your stuff's a mess. Good job. No. You know what?
But that's real life, isn't it?
Well, especially in the basement, like this isn't like my living room. This isn't a living area. This is just like an extra room in the house kind of. So, it's functional, right? So I like, for my control boards are, pieces of wood bolted to the wall, and I just kind of like mount stuff to it. I'm not like going to tidy every wire, so when I have to remove it, I have to undo it. That's like, if it was a display tank in my living room, the wiring would be meticulous. Everything would be perfect. So when people come over, like, oh, not like, what a mess. But this is like my lab down here. I have so much going on here. So to me, that's neat.
I was just going to say, to be fair, I thought that was quite tidy.
Yeah.
So, but I did the same when Harry came round to film my tank for his video. I was like, I haven't tidied it up because this is what reef tanks are like. There's wires and tubes everywhere.
Yes.
One of these days, they'll shrink down the amount of power supplies. I mean, that would be, if these companies started making like power supplies where you could daisy chain, have one power supply for 5 pumps or lights or whatever it may be, that would be great. I mean, like Coralview makes something, I think, called the Kraken, or where you could, it runs a bunch of pumps and one power supply, but it's like $1,000, $1,000 US. And
we had a live about that a long while ago, didn't we? And we were talking about USB-C basically, because the power delivery of USB-C it can be so high now that everything could just be USB-C, and you have basically a central hub and just USB-C cables.
That would be phenomenal. I mean, I have power bricks everywhere. That's probably why those boards with those wires exist. And there's more that's not in
energy as well that's being wasted as heat energy.
Yes.
It's just
and each one has its own efficiency. So let's say they're good. Let's say they're 97% efficient. But if you've got one that's 97% efficient, as you scale it up, you can improve that efficiency. Particularly if you can ramp the voltage up as well, you get even more efficiency compared to lots of individual ones, all with little losses in. So I think from a power point of view, that would be a real game changer.
It's a good point.
The new Red Sea reef system, I think, all the devices on that are digital, aren't they? And I think they can you can plug them into any socket. And I think the actual sensors, I think, can be daisy chained as well. I know it's not power, but being a more modern digital system, I think stuff like that will start to get more popular.
Yeah.
Inevitably, that's going to be the future of the equipment sooner or later. I mean, it can't be the way it is all the time. I mean, I think more of the companies are going to go to, I mean, like even like Stratton, right? You get these like panel lights that probably take the place of 2 Radions. So you could put like, say three Stratons in the place of 5 Radions. So you have two bricks less, just something like that. But
Yeah.
Richard,
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
just
see,
it's,
sorry, Harry, you don't see a problem with it being in your basement. I see you've got quite a lot of exposed insulation at the top there. You don't get any problems with dust or anything like that?
no, so that's like capsulated, so nothing comes down from that insulation. As far as dust, I have like a large HEPA filter down here, so I get very little dust settling in here, and I have two large dehumidification units down here, so it's always very dry with good airflow because there's also fans circulating the air all the time. And then I have like a mini split down here, which will temperature control, the heat and the air conditioning. So, the dry filtered air kind of doesn't give me any issues with. I mean, it's spotless down here as far as dust. Not my wiring, obviously, but my dust.
To be clear, I wasn't saying it was messy. I was saying it was real.
We know, Steve. We know.
It's real.
It's okay. I got it. It's all right. I got it.
I need to climb back out this hole I've dug myself. So where did the name Jacksons Reef come from?
Oh, it's a really stupid thing, Steve. So the internet wasn't really mainstream in the mid 90s. So when you would pay to go online, I'm like, oh, look at this. I could create an email. So I don't know, like Jackson was I'm not even gonna get into it. Jackson was like a nickname for me, right? There's a movie over here, whatever. You don't want to hear that stuff. But anyway, so I made the email Jackson. I slammed a bunch of numbers in there. I'm like, oh, it works. Okay. And I didn't think anything of it. And then in the early 2000s that we had reef forums. Okay. Reef Central. There was a couple local ones. All right. And then I made my screen name Jackson. Little did I know, the internet was what's today. And then the name Jackson would stick with me in all of the coral forums and everything. So at this point, I just stick with it because everybody knows me as Jackson on the reef forums and Instagram and Facebook and whatever. So that's it. It's not that exciting, but
Okay.
and that's why I know people who call me Jackson. I know they know me from the coral hobby versus
that's quite
other parts of
handy.
life. Yeah. It's an alias, coral alias. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Nice.
Excellent. So you don't like get idiots making loads of Michael Jackson jokes?
No, you're the first, Steve. Thanks. Thanks.
I am a special kind of an idiot.
I appreciate it. No. I didn't mean it like that, Steve.
I don't care. I've been called much worse. So what got you into the hobby in the first place?
That's a good question. Man, when I was like 7 years old, my uncle bought me a freshwater community tank, right? And I fell in love with it. I always had freshwater tanks. I had Oscars, Dempsey's, moved into planted tanks. And then I was like, I guess I was about 16 or 17 years old. I did a saltwater fish only. And, we had such like little information back there. So it was a lot of like, we had Marine Fish Monthly magazine. We'd read these articles every month and we would go to local aquarium meetings and they were like, more of like the scientific community giving advice, which a lot of it wasn't even applicable, these glass boxes we were trying to maintain. So it was so much mystery. So I found it really challenging. And then, when Reef Central really emerged, then we were able to share ideas with people from all over the world, and we started really coming up with like a common trend in reef keeping, and then we started having success. I've always been drawn to that. And I lived on the beach for 20 something years over here. I was always boating, like everything marine life has always been fascinating for me. So to have corals in my own house and have all these fish and take care of this was just something that was always part of me. It still is, obviously. And now it's progressed so much. This is my 30th year in this hobby. It's progressed so much. I think back to like the way I thought of this so much. you never figure it out completely. You never get all the answers. You know more and more. You have more and more success. You discover more and more issues. Okay. And like when you look back, it's like, wow, I really knew nothing back then. And the thing is, I'm seeing this every year. I look back a year ago, I'm like, wow, I knew nothing. Like right now, I think I know something. I know nothing. And next year I'm going to know more. And then I'll think I know nothing. So it's just always like this thirst for knowledge, and there's always problem solving. If you're that kind of person that likes to fix problems, this hobby's for you. Okay.
That
There's
is
a
the
million
draw, I think,
problems.
for a lot of people. That
Yeah.
what
I mean,
draws them to it.
tinkerers that like to dose stuff and do stuff and feel like that sense of like, oh wow, I did something today. They get the little endorphin release from like doing dosing an element, like they did something, or a water change, cleaning your glass. I mean, whatever it is, you get that fix, you know. So that's really a big part of it for me. Fixing problems, having success, sharing ideas, socializing with people who do this weird hobby. Like, I mean, look, I'm talking with you guys. I'm across the world. I mean, it's awesome, you know.
Yeah.
It's a great hobby in that regard, isn't it? That you're never finished.
Oh.
You're never done. There's always the next thing.
Koja, I find myself in a room talking with people like I know them for years. People I would never, or like, like billionaires or whatever. Like people in completely different realms of than I am, and like we have this common interest. So it's like we could talk for hours. It's a phenomenal thing.
Yeah. Yes, it's amazing some of the people you can meet.
Yes.
Yeah. Fascinating people. I mean, hey, my best man at my wedding was a guy I met in 1997 at a choral meeting. How's that?
Wow. Rama has a very good point. It's a drug, not a hobby.
Very much so. But a good drug.
Yes. Good evening, Steve. Hope
Hello,
you're doing
mate.
well. Right, what was my next question for you? I think we've talked about some. Oh, your flow was interesting in the video of Top Shelf, because you have a lot of flow, but you don't have any of it directed directly at corals.
Yeah. So it's actually changed a little since then. So I added I had it in before the video and I added it in after the video. I actually had a pair of gyros on the side that kind of roll the water across the surface on each end. So yeah, because those aren't directional pumps, those Ecotech Vortex, I have them kind of like, I have two pointed across the back, okay, that blow anything from back there. I have two in the back corners pointed forward, which cover the right and left side of the corals. Okay, then I have two Nero 7s that are in the front, and they'll kind of point toward each other, which pretty much cover the whole center of the tank because it creates that center turbulence. All right, and then because I didn't have much surface agitation, I slipped in those gyros, and now the flow is spot on for what it should be at the moment. I mean, how big I let the corals get. I mean, that's only gonna get me so far,
Yeah. What else? All three, if we talked about that. So my next thing on the list is like it's a bit of a challenge for you. It's a name that coral.
Okay.
I wonder if you can tell us the name of this coral.
I hope it's an acro. I don't know much else.
That's my desktop.
Oh man, okay.
Why has it done that?
That coral
There
doesn't
we
even
go.
exist today. That coral has changed. All right. So that coral, now it had no name because I really loathe the naming game, or I did at least anyway. I see the need for it today, but it was about 2012 or 13. I bought a solid blue tenuous. Now this is before the whole tenuous game where we turned them red and all crazy stuff and gave them names and charged a fortune for them. I paid $20 for a little blue frag. Stuck it in my tank under 400 watt halides. It grew. Didn't think anything of it. 6 months into having that coral, I started seeing some like rainbow colors forming. I was like, wow, what is this? You can see there's like multi-colors. There's like red body and there's some green polyps. Now this is common today, right here. This is nothing special. 12, 13, 14 years ago, this was unique. So I started a thread on Reef to Reef. I named it Unique Acro, put a question mark. Okay. And I documented its growth. I put a video of it. I put pictures of it, and it got way bigger than here. And then I had multiple colonies of it, and I realized something was really special because I looked at my my private message box, and there was 200 messages with guys looking to buy
Wow.
it from me. And I was like, holy shit, this is something here, And that coral actually paid for my whole aquarium and everything in it. Just selling some frags on the weekend over the next 2 years. And then I got out of the hobby because my kids would drive me nuts. They were no, life got in the way. So basically, I had no time for the tank. I was killing everything. So, but the name, I never named it. So people referred to that coral. They called it Jackson's tenuous or Jackson's rainbow tenuous. And then one person in particular really, really got that coral around. And I actually got him. I made sure. So Keith Reef Bum. Okay, I don't know if you know his show.
Yep.
Okay, so Reef Bum, he wanted to buy a frag from me. So I sent him a frag, and I didn't know what I was doing shipping. I killed it. I sent him another frag. I said, "Don't worry, I killed it." So we went over my shipping methods, and I actually sent him 2 frags with revised shipping techniques, and I got him both. Get out of the hobby. Anyway, long story short, he grew it like wildfire, like he does with everything else, and he got that coral around to the whole country over here. And now it's the OG tenuous. It's the original lineage name tenuous. It was before the Walt Disney, before the home wrecker. Okay. But in my opinion, it's no different than a Jason Fox Jolt or a lot of the tenuous now. Okay. It's just been in captivity, like in tanks longer. So if you're into that kind of lineage, it's there. But in my opinion, it's not that special today.
Very humble of you.
That's a great story, though, Richard.
Yeah,
I have it. I just look at it. I wouldn't know it from, a bunch of other tenuous these days. I also don't have it fully colored up, so maybe in time I'll. You see, like next year, I'm like, I was wrong. I don't know. Right now, it's my opinion. So,
yeah. On the, I don't know whether this has changed, but on the interview with Blaine, you were talking about running Roaphos.
Sure.
You still running Roaphos?
I have 2 systems here. So I run Roaphos on my main display system, which has a 100-gallon frag tank. Yeah, I still run it. I run 300 grams for 300 gallons, and it's very, very light amount, and I'll change that out probably, I want to say every 6 to 8 weeks. Now, that's not like, I don't get stripped trace elements from it. Okay, I don't get a crazy amount of reduction from phosphate. So like maybe my phosphate would go from 0.2 whatever, 0.22, 0.24, and I'll be 0.1 to 0.12. So it gives me the reduction that I need, and I see no negative effects from it. I think the whole negative association with row is that people overdo it. They put more than what they need, and they strip down too low, and it does bind with some of the or some of the elements. So if you're not paying attention to your trace elements or using a crappy salt and not doing water changes, I could totally see the negative effect happening. So it's not for everyone.
I've just always found it really good when you first put it in, as in too good. It stripped out too much too quickly and then kind of died off effectiveness very quickly. I found the Nios Fozzy X, I think, rather than being like granules and like powder like you get with Roaphos, it was pellets.
It's a bit more
And
steady.
that was a bit more stable. But
I never heard that. Nios what?
Fozzy X.
Is that a granular ferric oxide or is that aluminum media? What is that?
It's I don't know. I'm gonna Google that right now.
Because we don't have
but
that.
It's made into a pellet and it's bigger.
If that's granular ferric oxide pelletized, that would be pretty damn cool.
Let's have a look. So I've got it here. Let me move that onto that screen.
So Richard, are you using lanthanum in any of your systems?
I have used lanthanum. The problem with lanthanum is that it works for a few days and it shoots right back up. So I don't have that concept. You see, what I do is you're absolutely right, Steve, where you change the GFO and you get like this, this stronger effect. What I do is I start my flow off very low through it, right? And as my phosphate will climb up, I'll increase the flow to it little by little until I can't anymore. And at that point, it'll be fully exhausted. That's how I kind of mitigate that initial, stripping of phosphate, just by lowering the flow to it.
Okay.
So,
But I'm interested in about this product. This is cool. I mean, Nios has good stuff.
So it doesn't say it's iron based.
Okay, that's good.
So, but if I do,
Is it red in color or orange in color?
it's like a dark, almost like a black color, if I remember correctly.
Black. Interesting. Yeah, I've never seen that here. They don't have that additive here, as far as I know. I mean, I have like Nios stuff right here. I mean, I have Nios stuff all over the place. I like their sole. I use a lot of their stuff.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I've got some here. I will, when we're back in the green room, I'll show it to you. Because I need to go digging through one of my cabinets, I think, to find it. But yeah, it's like a dark coloured pellet, like what you would feed koi. You know, quite a big pellet.
Do you put that in a filter bag, or do you put it in a reactor? Or?
So I had it in a Nios torque reactor.
Gotcha.
And it worked really well in that, because I think if you put GFO in a Nios torque reactor, not in a bag, it just spills out and falls out the bottom of it and fills your sump, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But the Fozzie X works in it really well.
Well, I'm gonna look into it for sure.
Yeah, but I'm kind of moved over to lanthanum and just put it on a dosing head to dose like a tiny amount into my reef mat. But I did it twice a day. I did it at first where I was doing just a tiny amount all throughout the day, but I found it far more effective to do a slightly bigger amount 2 hours after feeding each time.
Now, are you seeing an accumulation of lanthanum on your ICP tests? Because I was getting up over 30, and I was like, oh boy, how high can I get before I see a negative effect? You know, I don't know what that number is.
So I did at first, but when I first started using it, I actually needed to dose quite a bit, because I had a lot of phosphate that had leached into the rock. And every time I pulled it out of the water column, it came out of the rock into the water column again, and you needed to put more in. So to get that initial load down, I had quite a high dosage. But at the end of that, I was doing 2 0.3 milliliter doses a day.
0.3.
Yeah, I mean, it was like one
so
drop.
strong.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay. When I would dose
that was
lanthanum, I would use an IV bag and drip. Well, I used Tropic Marin's lanthanum product most recently, so I don't know what the concentration of that is, but I would use 12 ml mixed in 1,000 ml IV bag and drip it over like 6 hours into my. I would drip it into a filter sock, like a small micron. I think it was a 5 micron filter sock, some small micron. I forgot what size, and that would kind of limit the amount of lanthanum. There you go. Yep, that's what do they call that again? I forget the name of it.
A Limifos Rapid.
There you go. Yep.
So I just do like 1 or 2 drops twice a day.
Yeah.
I think as long as you keep on top of your water changes, it's never going to be an issue from a build-up point of view. As long as you're getting out of the system.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to use lanthanum if I was just microdosing and not doing regular water changes.
I never ran it on a daily dose. I mean, that might be a good option. That's a good idea. I never even thought about it for some reason.
Very controllable.
Yeah, much easier. I just dose. Mine's a milliliter a day, but I make my own with the crystals.
So it's not a dosing pump, and you just have it dosed into your mechanical filtration?
No, I do it manually. I just got a little pot that I keep it in, and I just literally syringe in. It takes me 10 seconds, if that, and straight to the floss.
Gotcha. That's cool. I'm gonna look into that. That's not a bad idea.
And with the crystals, you can basically mix it to whatever concentration you want, effectively.
Just seen Acrokiller say a couple of times about alkalinity and lanthanum. I don't think I knew about that correlation, so that'd be interesting. I don't know if anyone knows.
Well, what is that correlation? I never even heard of it.
No, I haven't. So I'm just interested to hear. I've never noticed it.
Well, I know with GFO, like when you put fresh GFO, your alkalinity will drop. Now, I don't know if that's because of the reduction of phosphate or something else, but I get it every time I change my GFO.
Yeah, it's interesting. It says it throws off your reading in the aquaways as well. Again, I've not heard of that.
I haven't used it in a while. I don't know. I never made that correlation, so I'm not sure. Oh wait, you talking
Interesting.
about GFO or the or
I think he's talking about lanthanum.
lanthanum? Yeah, lanthanum. I haven't used lanthanum in a while, so I don't remember if it. Or I didn't notice if it made my aqua read wrong.
And are
Yeah.
you aiming for 0.1 in all your systems or thereabouts?
More or less, yeah. It seems to be like that safe number where it's like, all right, I won't pale stuff out, but I'm not going to get stuff dark if they don't get a lot of light. So it seems to be the safe number. I know guys that run 0.4, 0.6, but they're blasting their corals with like 800, 1,000
Yeah.
par.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I could do that. I have the lighting to do that, but I got to acclimate the corals that if they can even adapt to it without killing them. It's just all the whole upside. I mean, all the high parts. Like it's nothing but risk to maybe gain color and a few more corals that I'm not getting. You know,
Yeah.
and damage possibly a ton. I just don't see it worth the risk, honestly, or the extra power.
And not only that, every time you give a frag to someone, it's just going to die
I was going to say
because
the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I little by little I've been kind of. I mean, the old school in me wants to use like all the light. Yeah, blast them, give them the 400-watt halide, give them 1,000 par, right? But then I go to somebody's house who has 270 pars, their peak spectrum in a very blue spectrum, and they have rainbow colored tenuous, and they have wild grown stags and tables, and I go, huh. And here I am, I was doing, 700 par, hitting a lot of whites, T5 hybrids, and then I start dialing back par. And as I dial back par, yeah, I might lose color on 2 or 3 or 4 corals, but I have 30 that look better, that color up better and grow better. And it's like, whoa, okay. So I think there's a lot of variables to it, obviously, but like we tend to overdo it in America.
yeah. Where have I gone? There we go. So I've got some more questions. I really want to see your tank, but I've also got some questions that Alyssa sent me that she wanted asked. So we'll do Alyssa's questions because I'll be in trouble if I don't. And yeah, you don't want a crazy Russian lady after you.
You don't want to upset Alyssa. Definitely not.
I met Alyssa for the first time at Reefapalooza back in the beginning of June. She's funny. We've been chatting online for a couple of years though.
Yeah. So her first question is, do you think hobbyists put too much emphasis on ICP numbers instead of observing the coral behavior?
Okay. I think the emphasis on trace minors is blown out of proportion, but I think the importance of an MS resolution ICP is invaluable. And the reason why, look, we have a huge margin of error on most of the elements, give or take. I mean, some are toxic if they're high, but like for us over here, most of the people I know that have issues losing acros, and they like, I don't understand why. It's because of metal toxicity. Okay, like when you set up a new aquarium and you have new PVC pipe, we have tin issues. Now, if you do an OES test kits, you won't show tin. It's going to show up at 0. If you do an MS, you're going to see tin. If you have tin like above 6 or, I mean, even 5, but like when it gets to 8, 10, 12, you can't keep acros alive. They'll RTN in days, right? And it's persistent. So something like that, or zinc. Zinc shows up on OES fairly well. Now, again, this is important in tank. OES resolution in RODI water, it shows everything. It's just the resolution with the salt. It gets convoluted. You can't see a lot of the minor metals on OES. So that aspect, the toxicity aspect, is why the main reason why I do ICPs. But I also like to dial in my major elements. Like I want to dial in my potassium, my fluoride, my nickel, my zinc. My cobalt, my chromium, my manganese. That's always low. I never get that dialed in. Some of them are like no matter how much. Like when I was doing moonshine, I was dosing 30 ml a day of manganese, and it was deficient. I was like, all right, obviously it like
so
depletes.
quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like, this is not staying in the water somehow. So I think some of it you take with a grain of salt. But overall, look, the guys that really focus on their ICPs and really like, prioritize them, it's never a bad thing in my opinion. It's only going to steer them in the right direction. I just think you really need to focus on an MS test. I think the OES tests give you a full sense of security. I've witnessed and helped so many people with dyeing acros showing an OES that's absolutely fine, only to find out they have high tin or high copper or high vanadium, and it doesn't show. And then you could do detective work to see where these metals are coming from. It could be coming from an impeller. It could be coming from your RODI. It could be coming from your plumbing, vinyl tubing. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, I think Ipswich Reef had an issue where he bought new dosing lines and was getting
There you go.
all sorts of issues with tin
Yeah.
from the coloured silicon tubing
Yes.
out of them. And it caused him so many issues.
Stephen, this makes me think back. It's like when we started aquariums, it's like, oh yeah, the aquarium's got to stabilize and mature. Why we couldn't keep acros for the first several months when we had brand new PVC and we didn't have the ability to test for tin. And I think back years, I'm like, holy shit, I probably had tin back from the beginning. I had no idea,
Yeah.
But now we know.
It's not actually just from the materials themselves as well. I think I remember seeing a video on it on one of the more, I can't remember which we might have been Polo Reef actually. But it's about like these different manufacturing methods. It's actually the release agents as well that they use in some of the processes, and it's not actually just the material itself. It's the and it's very, very difficult, right, to clean everything to that kind of clinical level where it's got absolutely nothing on it. But even things like that, just the release agents and just what's the residual material that's on there can cause you some problems.
When we buy new PVC here, what we do is we take like a rag or something like that. We put a solvent on it. I'll use like paint thinner or something like that, or acetone, and I'll actually stick it in the pipe and ream it through with a pole or something like that. And you see all this black stuff come out of this white PVC, and you could wipe the outside. So there's so much stuff on that pipe, I mean, you still get tin even though you do that, but hoping it would be less, I'm not really certain. I haven't ever checked,
You don't know how many warehouses it's been in, back to different lorries and people picking it up, and it's going to get contaminated, isn't it, over time?
Yeah. But anyway, what she said, if you're ever losing acros and you're not sure why, send out an MS test. It's only going to help. Don't do OES for that specific thing. I've steered myself wrong with high copper and not the technique. I was going crazy. And I have a lot of buddies that just they had the tin and they were never knew.
Yeah. Right. So I think her second question is a follow-on from the first, is where do you draw the line between useful data and chasing numbers?
I think when there's no actionable protocol, like for instance, the aquabiomics test, we get to see all these bacteria that are in our system. What the hell do you do about it? Where's the correction? Like at least when you do like a trace element, you could get a correction bottle or whatever, if you do Triton, if you do Modern Reef, there's a correction. There's an actionable thing to do. If you can't have an action, then what's the point?
I think that's the trap people fall into sometimes, is you send an ICP, it comes back and it's great, and you think, hang on, I've spent 40 quid or whatever to get this result. I need to fix something. It needs to be worth it. So it's almost like, I've got this great ICP.
And then it's like, is it worth fixing? Does it do anything? Like when you correct your rubidium or selenium. Oh, selenium. That's Alyssa's favorite. She says selenium grows coralline, and we were actually chatting on a live stream, and I didn't know that. She says it grows coralline. But anyway, my point is, like, do they actually do anything worthwhile? So it really, it's going to be subjective. If you can make that correlation and you're certain, then in your head it's worth it. Maybe it is worth it for everybody. Maybe it's not. We all have this own reality of our reefing. What we believe to be true, what we believe to be false, what methodologies we kind of lean toward. And it changes. That's why I never shit on anybody's way of doing things. I try to observe. I try to see their balances and see what they're achieving, because there's if their end result is something I want to achieve, then there's another way to do it if it's not my way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the things I was asked in a shop recently, like what would be my 3 tips for someone starting new. And one of them was, if you pick someone to take advice from, do all of the things they're doing. Don't do something from one person's and something from another and something from a third one, because whatever that one person's doing, it works because of all of the things they're doing, not that one thing.
even if they pour a whole bottle of no pox in their tank.
Who would do that?
The corals
Harry?
look awesome. Why not?
I was in a live stream. It was the end of the year. We were doing a quiz, and in this quiz, I'm getting more and more and more stressed. It's a 2-hour live stream, and we went into the green room at the end of it, and I was like, "Shit, guys, you need to help me. Look at my tank." And it was going more and more cloudy throughout the live stream, and it took me 3 days to track down what it was. But I disconnected my my dosing for what's it called, Harry?
No pox.
No pox.
Carbon dosing.
And I just, instead of having the bottle down the bottom of my tank, it was on a shelf, and the hose fell down and it just siphoned itself into my sump,
Oh my god.
and it just filled my sump with, luckily there's only like half a bottle left, or a third of a bottle left, and it just emptied that amount in. But yeah, that was not
Steve,
good.
I have a no pox story for you. 2 years ago, I'm down feeding my fish in the morning, and I hear like this crackling noise. I'm like, I thought my stand was collapsing. What happened was the bottle of no pox was leaking from the bottom, and it leaked all over my Innovative Marine sump. I didn't know this at the time, and my Innovative Marine sump apparently is very sensitive to solvents, and it was fracturing in the entire sump. So I was in a panic. This is like in the morning, right before I had to go work. I was like, oh my god! I shut all the valves to the sump, drained the sump out. I ran to the local fish store, got a 75-gallon glass aquarium, slid that underneath there for a temporary sump, and the system is only 4 months old at the time. Innovative Marine, they sent me a new sump. They were awesome. I mean, I got the sump within a week, but it's like, don't. I didn't know what happened, and then I saw the bottle of Nopox, and they saw that in the video, and like, oh, that's it. I'm like, oh, you guys should put it like a disclaimer or something like that. Don't put anything near it, you know. But anyway, yeah.
Wow.
Moral of the
Right.
story is no pox is very dangerous.
Yeah, no boxes. Can be, yeah.
Use at your own risk.
So we have another question from Alyssa. She did mention about the selenium as well. One of her questions was, dosing selenium, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, we had this conversation the other night because that was like one of the elements was like, I don't know if it's worth it. She's like, no, selenium gives me coralline algae all over the place. It's great. So you know what? I started paying attention to it again because of her. I'm gonna make sure my selenium is added and somewhat in range, and we'll see if it makes a difference.
So every time someone talks about selenium, I just think of the 90s movie with David Duchovny? The guy that played Fox Mulder in X-Files.
Oh, yeah,
he did that piss-take sci-fi alien invasion one, and the way to kill all the aliens that was selenium was their arsenic, and it came in Head and Shoulders shampoo, so they were basically squirting all the aliens with shampoo. Yeah.
That sounds like a real quality movie, Steve. I got to watch that one, you know.
It was one of those ones that didn't take itself seriously, and it was more of it was equal parts sci-fi and comedy.
Oh man.
Right, next question. Do you think older aquariums should be proactively replaced after a certain number of years, or are they safe as long as they pass regular inspections?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Oh shit. You're talking to the wrong guy because I don't really let aquariums go longer than 5 or 6 years just because I'm always changing stuff. Honestly though, if I had a large aquarium and I hit the 10-year mark, I would be making arrangements to change that tank. Probably number one out of boredom, but number two, you know, that I'd be worried about it, you know, leaking or something like that. I mean, there's some old tanks here guys have over 20 years old, but I think the vast majority of them, you know, will fail, you know, beyond 10 years. So it's not worth the risk on a large. If it's a small tank, I don't care. Like if I have a 25 or 30 or 40 gallon tank in my basement where it's not going to destroy anything, I'll let it go. In my living room where I could destroy my floors, then it's a different story, you know?
Yeah. So I've got a couple of comments now. The movie was called Evolution.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to watch it?
I'm going to.
Another question now. Have you seen cases where correcting trace elements noticeably improved coral color and growth?
Theme
Big
here
fan.
with Alyssa's questions.
Now, again, this is for more of the major elements. So, like, I had low potassium when I really got on moonshine. My potassium was around 330, and then I bumped it up to like 410 or 420, and like my red colors kind of started popping immediately, you know. And then I also bumped my fluoride up. My fluoride was like 0.3, and I bumped it up to 1.2. And, you know, again, like more vibrancy in like reds and then blues. And I mean, you could see like this added kind of metallic hue to the coral that I didn't have before,
Mm.
right? It's not like, it's subtle to somebody, you know, on a camera, but like in person, when you see your corals every day, you're going to see these differences.
Mm.
And there's a lot of elements where I don't see shit, you know, like rubidium, you know, selenium, even though Alyssa sees it. You know, chromium, cobalt, zinc, nickel. I mean, these are all elements that's supposed to be good, but I don't physically see that change. Or I just haven't been able to correlate it with the change because I've dosed so much other stuff. But yeah, those two in particular, the iron too, iron, potassium, and what the hell is the other one I just said? Fluoride. I saw a difference with all those.
Perfect. Okay. I mean, she's asking a lot of questions here, so I'm actually sorry, Liz. I'm going to skip over.
I'll
some of
shorten
them
the
'cause
answers. I'm sorry if I'm
there's
elaborating too
there's
much.
a lot. There's a lot of questions, but one of them is looking back at your famous 115-gallon reef in around 2015. How did you approach water chemistry, and what would you do differently today?
Oh shit, so much different. But that tank was super duper successful for the first like 2 years. Okay, and then I had the bright idea to pull out my rock rubble in my sump and change it to ceramic media bricks. Now I did now we know today because of ICP that ceramic media, like especially from this company called MaxSpec, not MaxSpec, Marine Pure. They it leaches a ton of aluminum, right? Now we didn't have the ability to test for it, but my tank was never right after that. So, you know, I would have obviously changed that. Okay. And then the biggest problem I had back then, I was really busy when I had that aquarium. So when I was home, I worked seasonally. So in the wintertime, I'd be home, like taking care of the tank. And then in the summer and spring and even the fall, I would, I would slack on the feeding, and reefroids didn't exist back then. Okay. So I would bottom out on phosphate all the time. And then I'd wake up in the morning, I would see like RTN from, STN from the base on a lot of corals. Um, you know, it's just, I mean, what would I change? Everything, you know, but I had success for 2 years, and tank did good. You know, I had really nice colors back then, but today I think it's easily achieved. Back then, because of what we had, it was a special thing.
Yeah. Right. We can't put it off any longer. We need to see your tank.
Yep. Okay. So there's a bunch of tanks here.
I'm going to spotlight you so we can see you a bit better. There we go.
So let's show you what I got going on down here. So this is an unfinished basement. I have the ceiling exposed and everything like that, but let me change the camera angle here. No, what am I doing here?
That's it.
That's it? Okay, hold on.
Yep.
Where's the my filter?
Yeah, where's your lens?
Yeah, hold on. I had it here. Here it is. Okay. So we got my lens. Okay, so what we have here. I don't even know let's start with the display system. Okay. So this is the 200-gallon innovative marine tank. This is the one that you saw in the video. Okay, so it's very, very different. Wait, hold on. What the hell's going on? I'm moving backwards. Let me change the camera angle. 1 second.
Richard, this is like a mini tidal gardens in your basement. This is insane.
Yeah, this is a little bit of an addiction here. Let me see what's going on. What the hell? Hold on. Back trigger, back dual wide, back dual camera, back camera. What's is that? Does that look right?
Yeah.
Looks fine.
Okay. I can't see what I'm doing here. It's like, all right. Anyway, so no, this is going backwards for me. It's so weird. Like I move left.
It's mirrored. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me see how I change that.
Alyssa's saying do landscape, but we tried that earlier. We couldn't get it to change to landscape.
Are you Android or iPhone?
This is an iPhone.
Have you got the rotation lock turned on?
Oh, good shout.
I don't think I do. Let me just check. Let me swipe down. Let me see. Which one would I pick here? So there's front camera, right? So okay, that's front camera now. It would be back triple camera, back dual camera, back ultra wide, back dual, or just back camera, right? I guess that's it. All right, whatever. We'll deal with it. So, okay. Anyway, you can see if you can. Can you guys see a? I don't even know. Does that
No.
look upside down to you?
It looks on its side now. All the water's going to
All
come
right.
out.
So we'll do it this way then. All right. So this is the same tank. You see the coral selection's very, very different here.
God,
Right.
wow.
Wow.
This is so weird for me to look at right now. I'm like, all right. So this is
Each
this
colony
is the
is
blue
like
section.
propped up.
Yeah, some of them I this is only like this for about the last 4 months. Okay, I took all those old school colonies that you saw in that video, and I sold a lot off, or I pulled them out of here. I mean, some of the other ones stayed, got bigger. Like there's a nice no wait, buddy, move. It's like a nice
Hand feeding.
rainbow splice here.
Wow.
It's nice. I can't even see what I'm showing you. I'm sorry. This is a PC rainbow, but a grafted one. This is pretty cool. But this is driving me nuts. It's so crazy. I go one way. I gotta get used to this. It's like trying to back up a trailer.
Yeah, don't look at your phone. Just kind of look past your
okay.
phone and
Good tip,
hopefully
Steve.
that-
Good tip.
That gonny is huge.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's two there, isn't there?
there's
a red
two
one
there.
and
Yeah,
a
there's the
glitter?
what do you call the glitter? Yeah, there's a glitter like getting sandwiched over there. Here, you know what? This would give you maybe. Hopefully, this gives you a more accurate representation. 1 second. Oh, this is here. Look, more of a mess, Steve. Look, there's all my modern reef stuff. Okay, there's
look at all the
backup.
flashing lights.
Yeah, it's the hydros controllers, you know. And then here's more. Look, here's power bricks on the wall, whole bunch there for the radions and the blades, and here's my monitor.
Hey, it's better than on the floor, shoved in a cupboard.
Let's see what's going on from the top here. Let's see what we got.
I would be a very happy man if that was my basement.
Mm.
Wow.
Are you able to see this in focus?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
Okay. It's like a nice confetti. This is a nice rainbow spike here.
Christ, is that a mini? The really yellow one to the right, but probably your left.
Yeah, this guy here. That's a fox.
No, but that's equally as beautiful. That's the one I was talking about.
This little guy back here.
Yeah.
That's just a sunset millipora. I actually, I got to show you guys something crazy. This is called a jackpot tenuous. The color on this guy is pretty crazy.
Oh, look at that.
Finally got it to grow a little bit. It's been sitting there for a while.
Polyps are pretty impressive.
The polyps on this guy. Look at this stag over here. This thing's fuzzy.
Wow.
Yeah.
My camera work is terrible. I'm like looking at it. I'm sorry. This is so weird.
You're apologizing, but I think we're all in awe. This is insane.
It is stunning. Really nice.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm trying here. It didn't start off like this. I had a lot of issues getting rolling here, and some of the most basic stuff, man. Salinity, dude. So you see, like it's doing pretty good. Like the polyp extension is pretty good. The growth is good. The colors are good for the most part. I mean, I have a couple corals that are problematic, but the majority of the tank is doing really well right now. So I'm pretty happy the way things are going. And I'll get into some more, but I'll show you the rest of the stuff. This is this thing. This was in the video that you saw with TSA, and it was just a mound of a coral with just a little bit of blue. This is the last 4 months. This coral would not grow into metal halide. The second I put LAD on it, it took off. There was a bunch of corals like that just literally would not grow into the halide.
And that tenuous that was just next to that one you were just showing us, that's stunning as well. This is probably on your left because it looks like it's on the right to us. Yeah, there.
Another piece of that jackpot tenuous. So like when I got it, it was just dying from a buddy. And I cut it. I was able to save 2 pieces. So
nice.
He had freaking white bugs all over it. So I debugged it and I cleaned it up, and it's like a really sought after coral over here.
What was that one we just went past? The red one, big colony. Back at that one.
This is
with the blue tips.
Vivid confetti. They call this guy here.
Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah, this is. I have a few of these. This is a faster growing one, but it's very sensitive. It could. This is
It,
one that turned black on me. It got really big, and the whole
okay.
thing out and died.
If anyone's in the States and they're planning to fly to the UK, a little frag of that in your prison pocket for me would really
Uh,
appreciate that.
I'll smuggle one for you. Don't worry.
Oh,
I
that's nice
can't
as well.
promise.
Yeah.
Is that the PC Rainbow, the grafted?
Which one?
No, no. Back to your right, I think.
This one?
No, other way.
Other way. That way.
Other way.
Isn't it?
Yeah, on the stop there. That one that's like every single color.
This guy here.
No, to the side of that, towards the edge of your tank. That's it. That one there.
This is a well, it's kind of a messed up spath, red spath, but it got a little green on me or something like that. It's recovering now. I don't know what happened. It was weird.
Wow.
I think I was using
Pretty cool.
I was using Aquaphor salt, and I think the iron was extremely high in that batch, and it's the only thing I saw that made it turn green. So this guy here, this is just a no-name coral that I grew from a wild frag. Pretty cool. Yellow polyps.
Yeah, the
So
polyp
jealous.
extension on it is phenomenal.
This is a stag they call the Superman stag over here. It's kind of, let me see. I have another one here. Oh,
I think your no-name coral Rama's got a name suggestion here. He said you should call it Big Chode.
there you go. I like that big chode. It's this is a nice coral here. They call this Route 66 Sicario Saint. I have a colony in the other tank. I think it's it's nice as a big colony. What else is in here? Anything fuzzy? There we go. Fuzzy. All right.
Wow.
That
Anyway.
should be called Sully, like Monsters Inc.
That's what's going on here. All right. So it's a lot different than in that video. And that video is back in February 20th. So we got March, April, May, June. So we're like 5 months ago, so it changed quite a bit, and then this.
And did you
system
have
here-
like ready grown corals to put in then? Because that's quite a lot of growth if that's 5 months old.
some of them were like, some of them like mini colonies that I grew from this system, but some were frags. But the growth since I switched the lighting to the radions and blades has been really, really rapid. But I also switched the system, so I stopped at all that calcwasser, right? I got on Modern Reef. It's like that 4-part stuff, okay, and it supplies like all like foods and stuff. It's like a pretty, I thought it was like bullshit at first. I was like, let me try this out because I had a buddy with really good results, and I actually put it on my secondary system first because this one has like, I have less to lose in this system here, and I liked it so much I put it on this system, and it's just like, dude, it's a 4-part doser, doses 4 equal parts, and I dose 2 foods, and that's it, and it's like idiot proof,
Wow.
so. It makes you a pro
Is it-
reefer right away.
Is it cost effective for you over there?
Yeah. So the only thing is that the foods could be a little pricey, but it's 120 US for. It cost me in this system with all this growth. It's 120 US for 2 months. Okay. Now, if you choose to do the foods, you could add another 100 to that. But I kind of make the foods last because I feed so much. It's like, I don't really need all the additional food. I'm literally feeding this tank like almost 30 grams a day, like frozen foods with frozen with fatty acids added to it. So like, it gets all the nutrition that it needs.
Yeah.
And this is a 100-gallon frag tank that's plumbed into that system. Again, the spectrum here is very blue. My lights are ramping down right now. There's a nice full spectrum, and this one even incorporates like a T5 hybrid, but it's off. Okay. These are like some Chinese brand fake looking radion things. They work great for the money.
Those the R8s, are they?
A8s. Yeah.
A8. Yeah. Okay.
A8s. Yeah. I've been running those for like 2 years on this tank on this tank. They're really good for the price. I mean, yeah.
Awesome.
I just,
Richard, what are the foods that you dose? Is it the complete refood, the modern reef?
complete food and polypop. That's the whole system. That's the only required thing in the system. It's the 4-part polypop complete food. Anything else besides that is additional. They have so many additives. It's almost like a Zeovit type deal, right? If you want to get crazy, you could add a million things. It's not necessary. It's just like tweaking stuff. Let's take a look at this guy here. So this is mostly like frags that I'll This stuff I'm growing out, stuff I'll sell, stuff I'll trade.
Wow.
A lot of backup colonies. I'll have 2 or 3 or 4 mini colonies of stuff just in case I lose one, or if I want to frag one, I don't like to touch it. I like to go to the next one. But this is under $300 worth of lights. So it's it works pretty good. And then over here, the light is off, but this is the most rare coral in the United States, which looks like shit right now. You wouldn't even see it because this is the Tyree Purple Monster. Okay, this really
Okay.
needs. I still keep a metal halide for this one coral because I'm convinced this coral is almost gone from the hobby because metal halide is really pretty much gone from our hobby, and I've had it for almost a year now from a tiny frag, and now it's like 3.5 inches now. I wish I could show it to you with the white lights on, but it's just a solid purple smoothie that's notoriously difficult to keep and a very slow grower. So we'll see. I'm having success.
Interestingly, it looks a lot like one that I've got in my tank that came from Ron. He calls it rhubarb. It's like mostly purple, but sometimes gets like green as well on it. But it looks exactly the same growth pattern and everything as that.
Okay, so that's the system there, and I think you guys saw the sump on the video. It's still the same. I didn't change anything. No, I didn't turn the lights up. It's just the Bubble King 200 skimmer. I have some rock rubble in the center, 2 return pumps. Nothing exotic down there. I really just rely on the skimmer for the export, and then I'll do weekly water changes in the system. I'll do weekly 17% water changes, which ends up being 1 garbage can. Now this system here, this is 2. I don't know how many liters it is. It's 110 gallon and 110 gallons, so 220 US gallons, whatever that comes out into liters.
So those 2 are plumbed together, but not to the other 2.
Yeah, so this is a separate system. Right. These 2 here, I put the sump off to the side, which is nothing more than a 75-gallon aquarium, and I silicone in some filter socks, another Bubble King 200 skimmer. Actually, you see this here. This is my recirculating CO2 scrubber. That this local company over here, he designed this, right? 3D Reefing. This is interesting because the problem with recirculating circulating CO2 is moisture. Because basically you're sucking the air from the exhaust air from your skimmer, which is very moist, and then drawing it through the media, and then the pump is sucking it back through. So you have this wet loop. So he came up with this design. You pick this up, and there's the moisture falls right through underneath this. So it's as simple as that, but it's brilliant. It was like it just simplified everything. I did the same thing on this one. I have a CO2 scrubber here, but this is an old school one, and I had to utilize catch cans, one here and one here, to catch the moisture. So this is more a crude, scrubber, where this one is same thing here. The 4-part Modern Reef, another Aquawiz, another wall of lights.
Nice.
And let's look at the tanks. What do you know? A bunch of macros, right?
I don't think Panit likes 3D reefing. He says 3D reefing, fuck that wanker.
That's his buddy.
I'm sure that's FTW. That's what it means, right? Yeah.
So this system here typically runs a little leaner than my other systems. There's a lot less fish in here. So if I want to get more of a lighter, kind of more of a pastel-y color, or lighten up a dark coral, I'll put it in this system. My nitrates will run I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this system. Okay, phosphates will generally dip pretty low if I don't feed aggressively. Okay. Now here, this is like frags. I'll sell some of these. I'll trade some of these, but most of it, Steve, I'm a hoarder. I'm a coral hoarder. I never know when to say goodbye to these things because I love them all, And there's another. You like that confetti? There's another one right there. Okay, guess what? There's another one right here. Okay. And this is that one that I told you, that Route 66, Sicario Scene, or whatever it is, a little colony of it there. I'm sorry, I'm so bad with the camera right now. I keep going backwards. Some more, so it's that's it. Oh, this is the tank with the blades, by the way. So
okay.
This is four AI blades, 2 glow and 2 grow. This whole rack here is 350 par even, right? Maybe a little off, maybe it's lower on the edges on each side. And then this one here is another one of those fake Radions, the A8s in a T5 hybrid. You know, this one here
Yeah.
is real Radions. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
and then we can't forget.
just talking about the A8s.
Yeah.
Jason says, would you share your program? He's got the A8s.
Yeah. So I have this one's actually these are X30s, which they discontinued. This is A8 SE Blues. I could share my QR code with this, but keep in mind I'm running a T5 hybrid, so it might not be good for you because I run the T5s during my peak photo period. So it's probably going to be overall very blue because the T5s give me the white that I need. I don't know if it's going to be good for you, but I could share it with you for certain.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and then we got my little 25-gallon quarantine tank / this is my son's anemones that he didn't want in his little 15-gallon tank. So this is like
Wow.
a free anemone graveyard. Whoever comes over and wants anemones, I try to give them away, but nobody ever wants them. And then my copper band training tank. This is number 5. I don't really need any more copper bands, but I know somebody's going to, so I trained him. He eats out of my hand. He's fat. And I use this for medications too. So like if I get new acros, I'll put them under the microscope, right? And then I'll stick them in here and see what I have to treat them for. It's a lot cheaper to debug the corals in this small water volume versus doing a large system. So I like to hit them in here a few times before hitting, one of the systems here. And then here's my mess, Steve. Look at this. I neatened up for you. Okay, here's my mess.
I love a good messy desk.
Yeah, my frag plugs. I mean, I just really, here's some chips, Steve. Look,
And if I had that basement, I don't think I'd ever leave.
To have a dedicated space.
Yeah. Sometimes my wife checks on me just to make sure I'm alive. But okay, hold on. All right, I think I'm back. Okay.
Wow.
Does that looking normal? Can you see me?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I can see it. Right.
There you go. Now I see. Okay, cool. The screen was weird. It was all split up. I couldn't see what was what.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
So it's like I'm still a hobbyist,
phenomenal.
right? It's not like a business for me or anything like that. I do sell a lot of frags, but I don't know. I kind of took it a little too far, but I can't help myself. I'm like not retired, but I'm not killing myself anymore. So I have time for this stuff,
Yeah. I wish.
It's just, I'm speechless. It's incredible.
It is phenomenal. And that just the space that you've got there is like, we're so envious of that because, I mean, I would say I'm really lucky that I've got this room that I'm in, and people that have visited here in person always say to me, oh, I thought the tank was much further away. So for the people watching, I'm just going to turn my chair and I can touch my tank. So it is pretty close. This room is...
It does look like it's far away. Wow.
Yeah. So it's 3.4 meters in that direction, and I think 2.9, from the tank towards the screens here. So and that I would say is quite a big office / fish room. And I'm quite lucky.
Prior to this, Steve, like this is I lived in urban areas my whole life. So, we urban areas here, you typically don't have like a big space. I was in like an 860 square foot condo for, 15 years. And I would utilize cube aquariums because I didn't have a lot of space. So I had like a custom built cube. It was 32 by 32 by 26 high. I plumbed that to a 30-gallon cube, which I plumbed that to a 60-gallon cube, and I could fit it all in the corner of a room, and I still had a good water volume. So like having all of this space. I was originally going to do one display tank in my living room. My wife's like, just go to the basement. I was like, you sure? So, here we are. I put a slop sink down here. I put my RODI system. I brought a sub panel down here, so I have power. I have a 100 amp sub panel down here. I have plenty of power for a lot of tanks. That's it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I mean to have that space, as you say, it's just it's incredible. The reality where I'm sat is I'm actually in a kitchen, and it's like a hallway style kitchen. It's very small, and my wall is here and here. So actually,
It's all good, and you're still loving the hobby. If you look back on my Instagram pages, you know what you're gonna see? A lot of nano tanks.
Yep.
I had a 34-gallon tank of the month back in nanoreef.com in 2010. Like it doesn't matter to me, small, big. It's like making this like live art thing, make it look
Yes.
perfect, right? Create like a bonsai scape and have like these healthy animals fully colored up and polyped out, and to me, the size never mattered, which is why I never really went with a giant tank on here, even though I had the room. Like 200 gallons is my biggest tank I ever had.
Mm.
And the other ones are 110 each and 100, so they're not huge. I just chain them together, but yeah, it's more work with a bigger tank, and it's more money, but I think it is easier to keep stable. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we did talk earlier about Fozzie-X.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure whether my Fozzie-X is in here or whether it's in the garage. But I then had a brainwave. I did a video on my NIOS talk when I got that. And in that video, I featured the Fozzie-X. So I'm just waiting for this advert to finish. And let me pause the video there. Right, I'll share my screen, and hopefully this will give you an idea of what it looks like. So this is my old house, well, it's the same desk that I'm on here and the same monitor I've got, but it's a Reefer 250 rather than the 850 that I've got now. So this is Fozzie-X. And
it's an interesting name too.
yeah. There we go.
That looks like GFO.
Yeah,
it's
a little
just
bit
granular.
red.
Yeah.
It's
much bigger chunks than Rowaphos.
It's probably cleaner to deal with too if it's larger chunks.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like Harry said as well, it seems to be more predictable, like slower burning. So it's like burning diesel instead of gasoline. Is
it moist?
Um,
it's like raw is moist.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have described it as moist.
Good to know. Yeah, they didn't bring this to us yet here in the States. I'm looking forward to it because I'm still running it in one tank. So try it out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really liked it. I found it much more predictable compared to Rowa. Let me close that down. Open this back up. See what.
No,
because I'm mindful of time, and I'm just having a look to see what
Richard,
questions
just a
are.
very quick one. Given the colonies that you've got in your back tanks there as well, one of those gonnies was like a green and purple one, was absolutely stunning. Have you got any tips for Goniopora?
No. I don't do anything. I maintain my acros. The trace elements I pay attention to them. Okay, those gonnies get a ton of light. Like I grew those gonnies under halide for the first year and a half of their life, getting 500 par and getting crushed by flow. They seem to adapt to it very well and grow extremely fast. I don't feed them anything special. I feed the tank well. I dose the modern reef foods. So the tank is well fed. The parameters are stable. The elements are there. I couldn't really pinpoint what does it specifically. I think it's just the whole picture,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think maybe not running a reef mat.
I don't have one because I can't fit it, but sometimes I wish I could have more aggressive mechanical filtrations because my display system can get pretty dirty. I'm always intervening, and the Innovative Marines mechanical filtration only utilizes 4-inch socks. So I could step the micron down if I want to get a little more scrubbing from the water, but then they clog up in a day or two. It's a pain in the ass. So
yeah,
I wish I had one. Actually, is what I'm trying to tell you. In the future system, maybe I'll utilize one. If I have a custom.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because we saw a tank tour on the Reefy AF group, and it was a guy in Canada called Tufa. And he didn't run. I don't think he even ran socks, if I remember correctly.
Didn't have any mechanical
He had
filtration.
nothing, and his tank was full of spawned baby corals that didn't get filtered out and were just growing in random places all over his tank. And his gonnies looked like they were loving life.
Yeah.
So I wonder whether that is another tip as well.
I mean, it's possible that the particulate filtration could definitely be like stripping the water. It's just, I kind of overdid the fish in that system, right? So like I find myself really leaning on wet skimming, and I carbon dose a little too. I was dosing Tropic Marin Bacto Balance on top of the Modern Reef. I recently switched to Modern Reef's carbon source. I'm trying that one out. So I've only been using it for 2 weeks, so I don't really have anything to say about it yet. I don't know yet. But anyway, yeah, because I'm relying so heavily on the skimmer and the carbon dose, like it would be nice to have that option to scrub the water if I needed to control, because my nitrates will shoot up, my phosphates will shoot up, and like I got to come in with a 60-gallon water change to knock things down sometimes,
I think it's easy to forget as well with the roller filters, roller mats, that they are quite controllable, providing you're not relying too much on your return pumps nozzles for flow. You can just turn your return pump up and down and retune.
Yeah.
Your overflow.
It's another tool, Harry. Just like the carbon, it's nice to have it and not need it.
Yeah.
Yes. Perfect. Well, we've been talking for 2 hours. I'm pretty sure we could talk for another 2, but it's getting to bedtime for us over in the UK. Thank you very much for coming on. It's been, I mean, if you're up for it, I think it would be great to get you back on again, because I've got so many more questions that I didn't ask. I think
it was
great.
a blast.
Yeah.
You know what? I got to get into the pests next time, because the pests we see over here will probably make you get out of the hobby. So I got to show you those next time.
Yeah, maybe we need like a Jacksons microscope session.
I'll try to get some cooties for you next time. We'll see what I can find.
Excellent.
Richard, I don't think Steve's actually that bothered about getting you back on again. It's Alyssa's been putting him under pressure, so that's
I do have one more button that I haven't pushed yet. It's my favourite one of all of the little buttons I downloaded today. There you go.
It's really quiet.
I just got.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I've got a squeak.
Right, can
It does
I fix that?
sometimes.
Is this worked?
It's a
A
bit
little,
better.
little Michael Jackson. I hear it.
Yeah.
Parting
Is
heebie.
It sounded like something else at first. I wasn't sure what it was.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for
Thank you,
coming on
gentlemen.
and joining
Pleasure.
us.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thanks, Harry and Coach, for joining as well. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll see you this time next week.
Take care.